What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Iron Mike Tyson. Get this. Mike Tyson has picked Terence Crawford to beat Errol Spence if their undisputed welterweight world title fight comes to fruition this year. Tyson had this to say. Of course, before that, we know if Crawford has moved up into weight and won the WBO crown back in 2018. The pair have been on a collision course. Spence, of course, won his first belt back in 2017 by beating Kell Brook. As the man of his word, Spence beat Shawn Porter to claim the WBC in 2019 and Ugas to snatch up the WBA. Okay, so after the IBF, he took the WBC, he took the WBA, and Crawford took the WBO off of Jeff Horn after the upset loss, that beating Manny Pacquiao. Okay. Mike said this. He said, the reason why I say Crawford is when you look at the guys they both fought, like Shawn Porter, look at what Spence did to Porter, and look at what Crawford did to Porter. Hopefully fans will get the opportunity to see if Tyson's prediction is right. Those are the words of Mike Tyson, and based off of what he's doing, he's saying that, hey, well, if you look at the opponents and look at the damage that he's done, Terence Crawford, the style that he has, he's able to do more. Okay. I'll say this. I agree with Mike, but not why or the reason that Mike's using it. I think Terence Crawford, I think styles make fights. I don't think Shawn Porter was washed up, mind you, because that's what people are running with, all because he took such a beating from Errol Spence that by the time he fought Crawford, no, that was a back and forth fight between Errol Spence and Shawn Porter. We all know that. And the only thing that differentiated that fight was the flash knockdown in the 11th round. Okay. The 11th round. And Shawn Porter got up like it wasn't nothing. And actually, if he would have stayed abroad, he wouldn't have took that knee. And if he wouldn't have took that knee like Jon Snow, we don't know how that fight would have went. That was a very close fight. Okay. The Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter fight was very competitive until Terence Crawford decided to up the ante. Okay. And he showed what he could do. And it proved. He was like, I thought that I was up. I'm down. Okay. Let me show Shawn Porter what's going down. Right. So, and Shawn Porter went down. He went down twice. Kenny Porter called the fight. He pulled his son out of that fight, and he didn't like what he saw because, based on, training or whatever he used, he didn't like the way Terence Crawford was doing him. And anybody that does that, it's relevant to a certain degree because at least we have a common denominator. We have Shawn Porter. We have Kell Brook. Okay, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford has stopped Kell Brook. But Errol Spence and Terence Crawford has not stopped Shawn Porter. In fact, no one has stopped Shawn Porter. So, yes, it looks more impressive. If you can think back when Floyd Mayweather retired and Manny Pacquiao fought the same guys like i.e. Cotto and Ricky Hatton, they looked and compared the performances. Who looked more impressive? And it was Manny Pacquiao. That's what put the collision course into motion. The only difference was now these guys are still undefeated. These guys are in their primes, okay? Not just classic icons. Not saying that Manny Pacquiao and Floyd wasn't. They were just phenomenal fighters, okay, at the time. But Floyd was retired. Floyd didn't really have interest on fighting, Manny Pacquiao. That was kind of similarities because Errol Spence kind of had a little, hesitancy to, quote, fighting or desire to fight Terence Crawford. So I think that Terence Crawford will beat Errol Spence because of the style. He's able to do more. He's able to do no more now than Errol Spence can do. Errol Spence is a moving forward fighter. He has good boxing ability, and I think that's underestimated, but I don't think that he can do what Terence Crawford can do. I just don't. I think Errol Spence is a good fighter versus a great fighter with Terence Crawford, okay, based on what he's already done. See, Errol Spence, I feel, needs the Terence Crawford fight. I don't think Terence Crawford needs to fight Errol Spence. especially at 34 years of age in 3 weight classes. I just don't see it, because I just want people to remember the Manny Pacquiao, the Maypac situation, because just because Manny did to those opponents what Floyd didn't do to those opponents didn't mean Floyd didn't beat Manny Pacquiao when they actually fought. So that's really a bad analogy of Mike, but I do agree with Mike that I think, and I do pick Terence Crawford to beat Errol, the Truth, Spence. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Iron Mike Tyson predicting that Terence Crawford would beat Errol Spence. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been Counterpunch. Peace.